Readers become your fans when they engage with and come to love the content that you put out. Now, this just isn't in your book, but everything you do outside of that. However, it can start with your book, especially as you are in the different phases of the author journey. Getting the word out doesn't begin on publication day. It begins on the day you start writing your book. And prior to launching your book, when you're in the pre-launch phase, there are many options to get the word out. We recently received a listener question about using the service NetGalley, which is one of the tools to get your book out into the world before it launches. So on today's episode, we'll describe what NetGalley is and how to determine if it's a fit for you as an author. This is Your Path to Publish. I'm your host, Zach Christensen. For the past decade, our team has guided authors just like you to find the best path to publish your book, get people excited to buy it even before it launches, and to turn it into the ultimate business card to build your business and your legacy. If you are ready to get your book out of your head and into people's hands, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. With each passing summer, I notice that there are a slew of different promotional summer soda flavors. And I think the leader of the pack is Mountain Dew, but there may be some others. And there's all these different flavors to try, and it's a good testing ground, I would assume, for these companies to see, should we mass produce this flavor for all of the current people who enjoy a certain soda beverage. Now this summer, Dr. Pepper, which is one of my favorite sodas, came out with a flavor, creamy coconut. I didn't find out about this flavor till near the end of the summer, so my wife and I started to look for the flavor because we like coconut, we like Dr. Pepper. So we started looking in all of the grocery stores around where we live. We couldn't find it, any of those stores, so we started to look online, and we did find it, but it was going to cost probably 3 to 5 times as much to get a single bottle, or we could buy a whole 12-pack of the soda, probably for more than it would be in the store, but it wasn't too much more. However, we didn't want to spend that amount and not end up enjoying the soda. All in all, we didn't end up getting the soda. I think at some point we'll come across it, or maybe the Dr. Pepper company will decide to put it in mass production, and it will be as readily available as any other variety of soda that is out there on the market. Now, there are people who have tried it and they've talked about it, and I've seen some videos on social media and some others that I've run into that have tried it, and the reviews are mixed. Some people like it, some people think it's okay, some people don't love it, but it's not unexpected for something like that to happen. So this story is directly related to the question that we have today about using NetGalley. So let's listen to this question.
Hey, this is Brian from Texas. Had a question about NetGalley. I've been talking to some marketers and PR firms about, how to best launch a first-time book, and everyone's talking about NetGalley and having it listed there. Can you just explain a little bit about what that is and how that helps in book marketing and launching?
So let's take a few steps back and talk about what a ARC or Galley copy book is. Now, ARC stands for Advanced Reader Copy, and it's also known as a galley copy. It's usually an early edition of the book that's been produced, and whether you're self-publishing or traditionally publishing or hybrid publishing, these are all options there. It might just highly depend on who's footing the bill for this. Traditional publishers are usually the most likely to do this, and it's covered by their expense. But this is giving the author an opportunity to see their book in an early design stage, not fully edited, but able to use it to promote their book in the pre-launch phase. So beginning to get the word out. Now, another option for this is using the service NetGalley. Now, as NetGalley describes it, they help publishers and authors promote digital review copies to book advocates and industry professionals. Publishers make digital review copies and audiobooks available for the NetGalley community to discover, request, read, and review. So NetGalley has two options to engage with it. From a publisher or author standpoint, it's promoting your book as a digital or audiobook copy early for readers to review. To review something from NetGalley, you have to be signed up and have an account. And as you go in, you have to be approved by the publisher or author, whoever's putting on the listing, to be one of the reviewers on the book. So you do have to have some standing. Now, I'm not going to go into what it takes to be a NetGalley reader. I'm going to focus more on what you need to think about as a publisher and author. So here's some of the pros. NetGalley connects authors with influential readers like booksellers, librarians, professional reviewers, and educators, those who are PR agents or publicity agents, and their membership is in the hundreds of thousands. So this can be an effective pre-lease strategy. So when you list your book on there or your publisher lists it out there, you're able to collect early reviews on your book, which you can use as social proof and generating pre-launch buzz about your book. This can be useful for getting positive reviews and having reviews on Goodreads, which can be done prior to the book launch, and post-launch on Amazon. And you can also use it in your Amazon A+ content. The readers of NetGalley often have the purchase power or an influential following because they benefit from this. So this could be book talk creators, people who talk about books on YouTube, people who write blogs or have lists where they promote to their readers about books and other books coming out. So there is a potential to get some of these professional influencers on there, but it might depend upon the niche of your book, how unique it is, and how well you go about promoting your book in the pre-launch phase. There's analytics that NetGalley gives you as a member that you can use to help understand who is requesting your book and why. Now, you can deny somebody if they request your book if they're not in line with the audience that you anticipate that would resonate with this book. So this information can be valuable for refining your future marketing strategies and getting your target audience right. Because if you're getting an audience requesting to read your book that isn't the intended audience, you can pause and ask yourself why. NetGalley reviewers will provide detailed feedback, which can increase the social proof, as mentioned before, boost your credibility, and give confidence to future book buyers. And because of this point as well, if you get some negative reviews or reviews that you weren't as stellar, you still have time to go back and make some of those changes in your book. Now, NetGalley can be a costly program, so you may be able to do co-ops and partnerships with other organizations, but there are some trade-offs there. So let's talk about the cons. One of which I just hinted at was that is the listing on NetGalley can range from $450 up to $750 or more per 6 months. Now, this can prohibit self-published authors who, if you have a limited marketing budget or if you're going through hybrid publishing, that can be another expense that could be used for something else. If you're with a publisher, traditional publisher, they may already front the bill on that, and you'll just have to make sure you understand the details of what they're purchasing from NetGalley and the package that they're buying. Another con is negative reviews. NetGalley wants honest reviews, so not all the feedback will be positive. So if your book isn't fully polished, bad reviews can affect your pre-launch momentum. But that being said, these critical reviews can provide valuable feedback and data about your audience. Another con is this is time consuming, so you may need to think about doing this earlier in the process or have a longer runway for marketing your book. In addition, going through the reader requests can take some time, and then you're waiting them to finish reading it and give you the feedback. So you have to factor that into your project timeline. Another con is there's limited review placement. NetGalley is a great way for gathering reviews, but not necessarily all the reviewers will go on to post on platforms like Amazon or Goodreads. The advantage with Goodreads is you can give reviews on a book before it launches, and on Amazon, you'll have to wait till your book actually launches. Another con is it may not be ideal for every genre. So some genres may perform better than others. So you need to make sure you do your research and look at, okay, what are the expectations around the feedback that I can get, because no matter what the fee is, they're not going to guarantee that you're going to get a certain number of reviews. So the big question is, should you use this? Should this be a part of your pre-launch strategy? Potentially, ask yourself who is paying for it. Do you need to pay for it? Is the publisher going to pay for it? Will there be a split cost between you and a hybrid publisher? Next is thinking about how are you going to use this, and do you have the bandwidth? As you get reviews in, will you have the capacity to be able to start using this to promote your book? This is something that you want to be very deliberate about when using NetGalley. Decide beforehand when a review comes in how you can use it, how you plan to use it, and what it will do to help you build the momentum for your launch date. And then finally, I would suggest, can you use this to gain additional access to placements from a PR team? So if you're planning to use a publicist, this can be a great option to be able to leverage what you get back and the momentum you're building to get placements on blogs, podcasts, or other means to get your book out further into the world. It will build your credibility to get access to some opportunities that you may not previously have been able to. If you have the budget, I would say give it a try. You never know what's going to happen and never know what opportunities will come from doing NetGalley. If you're more limited on your budget, just be very clear on, if you do this, what exactly do you see this doing for you? Don't just do it just because it seems like a good idea and has potential. Do your research, check the expectations for you and what NetGalley offers, and know that you won't be able to control the outcome of how many reviews that you get. So thanks for tuning in today. If you haven't, we're building up a great archive of podcasts. Go back and listen to more and submit a question, just as Brian did on today's podcast. We love your listener questions. So go to juxtabook.com/yourpathtopublish and you can submit a voicemail question. You can also refer to the show notes to get access to it. Stay tuned for our next week's episode as we talk about the power of beta readers. Beta readers are essential in an author's journey to help them refine their message, refine how they connect with their audience, and how to make their book reach its potential. So thanks for tuning in today. Go out there, dust off your manuscript, and turn it into a best-selling book that grows your business and your expertise.